David with DFW Gun Cleaning here. Today we're here to talk about the Kel-Tec RDB-S. That's Rifle Downward Eject Bullpup Survival. Before we get into that, first I want to talk about a couple of other guns that we've got here on the table. We've got the traditional Kel-Tec RDB that we're going to compare and contrast with the RDB-S. And we also have the Ruger AR-556 standard 16-inch AR-15 carbine. The reason the AR-15 is on the table is I wanted to go through a little bit of the size differences that we have. This Ruger AR-556 is pretty stock. I've got it equipped with the Vortex Spark AR. I really like the Spark AR because it takes 223 battery. Very easy to find, very easy to change. The standard M4 stock came from Ruger, and it also has the B5 pistol grip. The B5 grip is a little bit more vertical than your traditional grip. I really like the texturing as well as the angle. I have this grip on all of my ARs. This is the traditional Kel-Tec RDB. This gun came out quite a few years ago. I wasn't able to get my hands on one until 2017. This gun has quickly became one of my favorites. This one's going to be equipped with the Vortex Strike Eagle Gen 1 by its scope with first focal plane reticle. And it's also got the OSS Helix 308 can out on the front. As you can see, the Kel-Tec RDB with the suppressor attached is approximately the same length as the 16-inch AR-15 carbine with the stock collapsed. With the stock open, the AR-15 is considerably longer than the RDB with the suppressor attached. With the stock collapsed, we'll hold it up next to the RDB-S. Both of these have 16-inch barrels, just like the regular RDB. You can see here that the RDB-S is considerably smaller than the AR-15, even with the stock fully collapsed. We'll get that one out of the way. We'll go into the RDB. So the Kel-Tec RDB, this one's equipped, like I said, with the Vortex Strike Eagle. Comes from the factory with a 20-round magazine. Ambidextrous magazine release located right here in front of the magazine housing. Push that in, the magazine jumps right out. Downward ejecting bullpup right here. The ejection port is located right behind the magazine housing. This one's equipped with an ambidextrous safety lever located right above the pistol grip. Up is safe, down is fire. Both sides, same thing. The charging handle on this one does fold, as you can see right here. Pull it back to charge the gun. Forward to. This is reversible from left to right, so not fully ambidextrous, but it will work for everyone once you configure it the way you want it. The RDBs, the RDB and the RDB-S, are both equipped with adjustable gas systems. However, it's not necessary with the OSS Helix can because of the flow-through design of the can. Minimizes back pressure, which is really great on the AR-15 because you don't really have that adjustable gas piston option on a lot of the standard AR carbines. The ejection port being in the back going down is also very great for use with a suppressor. It directs those gases away from the shooter as opposed to an AR-15, which can dump them right near your face. The bolt in this is, the lockup is very similar to an AR-15. It is a gas piston system, very reliable. I've never had a single issue in thousands of rounds through the RDB. We'll go ahead and get rid of this this Helix on here. This is the old style Helix, which is a three-piece suppressor design, for if you include the brake. We'll get it out of the way. So the RDB-S came out a couple of years ago. Took me a while to find one of these. They're not very common in the wild. The RDB-S, unlike the RDB with the traditional pistol grip, this one has what you could consider a more traditional stock design, and that it is kind of a rifle-like grip, like a hunting rifle. It also has an ambidextrous magazine release, round button right here on the right side of the receiver. Pops that magazine out with authority. Flip it over. We have a square button on the left-hand side. Same thing. This one ships with a 10-round Mag 4P mag as opposed to the 20-rounders that come with the The RDB, however, just like the RDB, the RDB-S can use any AR-15 style Stanag magazine. The RDB-S also gives you a little bit of length of pull adjustment. As you can see, you get about 1.5 inches when the stock is extended. It does lock into place. There's a small tab underneath. Push that tab in and it collapses right back. I definitely like it collapsed for most of my shooting. More of a squared up stance with this one. This is great for, close quarter battle in the house, home defense. Also great for throwing in a backpack, a truck, and just not being in the way. The RDB and the RDB-S both weigh roughly around 7 pounds. That's with the Spark ARs on here. The Vortex Spark AR, once again, takes AAA batteries. User adjustable on the back. The only complaint that I have about this sight is that it is not motion activated. But for the price that you pay, it's a great range sight, and it will also serve you well for home defense. You just have to remember to turn it on if you need it. The RDB-S, unlike the RDB, the RDB ships without sights, so you will have to buy something right out of the box to get it functional at the range. I have the Vortex Strike Eagle on here. You could have gone with a red dot. Any LPVO will work. I like the LPVO on this one because it extends the capabilities I have with it. The RDB-S serves a different purpose for me. More of a short range, just have a gun kind of thing. The red dot sight is definitely my preference. However, the RDB does ship from the factory with flip-up iron sights. The back is a post with an aperture in the center. This is very, very sturdy. It can move side to side, as you can see. I don't know if you can pick that up, but there is some movement that is allowed by the mount to keep it from breaking in the event that it is dropped or snagged. The front sight, however, is a different story. The front sight is a stamped sheet metal affair. Flips up. There's a V-shaped spring that locks it into place. The first time I had this gun out at the range, I dropped it on the muzzle with the sight folded on accident. The sight went flying off in 2 different pieces. I was able to recover the pieces, put the sight back on. However, ever since then, there has been some slop and play in the sight, as you can see. This is not going to be really conducive to accurate shooting. However, for my purposes, I tend to not use the iron sight. I do like it with the red dot sight attached. It's still a nice, compact package, perfect for what I need it for. Just like the RDB, the ejection port is right here behind the magazine. Unlike the RDB, the safety is not truly ambidextrous. It is a cross bolt located right here behind the trigger. Push it through for fire, and back for safe. This is more akin to an older shotgun, something of that nature. It works very well with the size of the weapon. There's really nowhere else they could have put this safety. They couldn't have done the safety like they did on the RDB. There's just simply not enough room, and the grip is not really conducive to that type of safety mechanism. The RDB-S, just like the RDB, 16-inch barrel, 1 in 7 twists with the gas piston operation system. Has a locking, the bolt looks very similar to the AR-15. The carrier, completely different just by nature of the design. So let's get this thing out to the range, put some rounds through it, and see what we say. All right, guys, we're back out at the range, out at Uncle Bob's. Got a few grape sodas lined up across the way. Gonna see what we can do with the old Vortex Spark AR on the Kel-Tec RDB Survival. Today we're shooting Wolf, 55 grain, full metal jacket, the fancy stuff. Trigger is phenomenal, right around 3.5 pounds. If you have a chance to pick up one of these, I highly recommend you do. All right, got 10 more rounds of that fancy 55 grain Wolf loaded up. See if we can't connect with a few more of those grape sodas. that's all the ammo we have for today. Absolutely love the Kel-Tec RDB Survival. We'll see you back at the table. Back from Uncle Bob's. I hope you could see in the video. I know the lighting angle wasn't great. This is my first video, so bear with me. I promise things will get better. I take any suggestions, anything we can do to improve and make this more enjoyable for you, the viewer. It's exactly what we're going to do. The RDB-S. We'll start with the RDB. The RDB, the recoil is very mild, manageable. The downward ejecting is very convenient, no gas in the face. You know, the brass goes away. The only issue I've ever had with the RDB or the RDB-S, the ejection port, was shooting on bags at a range. The rear bag, if you don't watch where the bag is positioned, it will trap brass in the ejection port and it will stack up and stop the gun. Another issue with the downward eject, one time I was wearing a shirt with a pocket on the chest, started getting little burns on my chest area, pocket full of hot brass. Definitely not something you have to worry about with an AR-15, but conversely, this is fully ambidextrous. It's great for lefties and righties. You don't have to worry about brass coming out, flying past your face. All that brass and gas goes down, which is very nice, especially when shooting suppress. The RDB does ship from the factory with a standard A2 bird cage. However, this one has the OSS Helix mount on it. Much like the RDB-S is extremely soft shooting, very mild and manageable recoil. I did not have an opportunity to sight in the Vortex Spark AR before heading off to the range for the video. However, I did, my iron sights were already dialed in. I just used the iron sights to dial the scope in, or the red dot in, and the red dot was hitting soda cans at 50 yards, which is pretty impressive considering that I had not really done a lot with it. The RDB-S, once again, the recoil just completely manageable. My 8-year-old daughter absolutely loves shooting the RDB and the RDB-S. The lightweight compared with the mild recoil, combined with the mild recoil rather, is extremely conducive for getting new shooters out to the range and having a great time. Really no complaints with the RDB-S system outside of that front sight just being a little bit flimsy, but for a range toy it works great. For serious defense use or taking with you out in the backcountry, I highly recommend some sort of optic, either a red dot or another, possibly a 1x4, some kind of small LPDO setup, just to keep things a little bit better. Redundant systems are always good whenever you're out in the field. Well, anyways, that's the Kel-Tec RDB-S. If you find one of these bad boys out in the wild, I highly suggest that you pick it up. You will not regret it. As with all Kel-Tec products, they can be very, very hard to find, even during normal times. During the great gun and ammo pandemic of 2020, pretty much everything is getting difficult to find these days. If you have an opportunity to pick one of these bad boys up, I highly recommend it. Go ahead and do it. You will not regret it. They come in OD green and black. I prefer the OD green version. It's what I was looking for. However, when I found mine, I found a great deal on the black one. Dahlonega, out in wherever they are. Dahlonega Armory. Great guys. They got it shipped to me fast. Anyways, if you have any questions about the RDB-S, make sure you ask down in the comments. If you have any suggestions for future videos or anything you'd like to see, make sure you let me know. I will talk to you soon, boys and girls. Remember, I love you.